Good morning and welcome to Friday's Early Morning Intuitive Guidance. I almost said Saturday. I'm rushing this week a little bit, I guess. So I'm Dr. Bonnie Nussbaum, here with some words of wisdom to start your day off well. And I actually want to start us with a round of tapping for grounding, but we'll wait until some of my practical rebels pop on here. And then there's Nancy. Good morning. Good morning. Glad you are here. So we're going to do a round of tapping for grounding as soon as we get several of you lined up here. And then we have, I think that will open some interesting space for today's card. And I took the liberty of adjusting a title or creating a title because this card deck doesn't really title the cards. Good morning, Abigail. Glad you're here. Welcome. So I created my own title, and I'd like you all to notice that I focused on the positive, the opportunity in the difficulty, not getting bogged down in the difficulty itself. So the card talks about the difficulties, but again, one of the skills we want to practice and one of the perspectives we want to live is how do we see the opportunity in every difficulty? So that's kind of where I'm coming from on this particular card. But for those of you who have the card deck and like to follow along, it's the Light Seers deck by Chris Ann. And I'm going to move it a little closer so you can see those eyeballs peeking through the eyelids. That creeps me out every time I look at it. So we'll just give it a minute here and see if a few more of our peeps pop on. But when I saw the picture that went along with this card, I thought, ooh, this one's gonna be a deep card. Good morning, Beth. Welcome. Glad you're here. Welcome, welcome. So this is, again, I'm going to say, this is one of those cards. You can take it as deeply as you wish to. And I feel like our times are calling for us to go as deeply with things as we possibly can, to afford ourselves the potential for change, those really diving into those opportunities and the difficulties. But like I said, let's start with some tapping. And anybody who jumps on in the interim, we'll just have them join us in the tapping. But this is tapping for grounding. So side of the hand, by the baby finger, also known as karate chop spot. I like doing them both together. Might as well get some extra bang for the buck, right? So as you're tapping, I want you to repeat out loud. We'll do call response. So even though I'm struggling to stay grounded, I still love and accept myself. Even though I find myself going ungrounded repeatedly, I still love and accept myself. Even though grounding hasn't always been easy for me, I am willing to make a change. Inside corner of the eyebrows, staying grounded. Outside corner of the eyes, connected to Mother Earth. Under the eyes, solid and strong on my feet. Under the nose, unflappable in the face of crisis. Under the mouth, at the center of life's storms, I stand serene. Collarbone, but what if I don't? Under the arms, what if stuff continues to knock me off of plumb? Around the crown of the head, what if things get even dicier in my world? Inside corner of the eyebrow, but what if I demonstrate I can handle it? Outside corner of the eyes, what if I show my resilience? Under the eyes, grounding. Under the nose, a connection between the divine and Mother Earth. Under the mouth, I am that hollow reed. Collarbone, I am intimately connected to everything and everyone. under the arms. We are all one. And around the crown of the head, solidly grounded. Nice deep breath in and out. What do you notice? If you want to put it in the feed, feel free. That would be awesome. But I wanted to do that grounding exercise to lay the groundwork, for this card, because this can be an unsettling card. So I'll read it as is. And for these cards, again, in the Light Seer's deck, it is the Light Seer part, the Shadow Seer part, and then the narrative. So here's the card. It is the Ten of Swords, which is on page 144 if you have the book. And there are actually 10 crows or ravens flying over her as she stares off into space. Peaceful feeling. Good, 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 good. I love that at the center of life storms I stand serene. That's such a good thing. My yoga instructor, Bobby Silverstone, says that every time we do eagle arms. So I love that. All right, so let's see what it has to say. Another breath. Let it go. The Light Seer part. Painful endings. Crisis. Being stabbed in the back. An opportunity to find deep healing. An opportunity to find hope and resiliency. So I chose for the title today, Opportunities to Find Healing, Hope, and Resilience. Because that's what this is about. Those trying times in our life are opportunities for us to hone our skills at being resilient and grounded and solid and continuing despite whatever's going on. The Shadow Seer side, that if the card came out this way, which it did not, but if it had, but I like reading the whole thing just to give you that information. Shadow Seer, resisting the inevitable, not wanting to let go of negative emotions. Have you ever had that where you're just sort of cultivating the negative, you're in the swirl, and you kind of want to stay there for a while? The 3-minute white hot pity party. Rock bottom, a narrative rooted in lack and helplessness. Devastating loss. Recovery. So here's the narrative part. This Ten of Swords comes to us in times of blinding truth, when delusion is lifted. And sometimes if we're going along with our fingers in our ears, la 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 la, the universe ramps up the feedback a bit so that we get it. Sometimes the truth is painful because it indicates backstabbing or personal loss. This card can mark an abrupt end to our current path and a jarring resolution in the form of a broken relationship, blocked dreams, a fractured partnership, or a discontinued career path. Getting fired would be a perfect example of this. While these endings feel severe in the moment, the most potent seeds of hope are always planted in their place. So I want you to hear that again. I want you to think back to some of the most devastating moments in your life. While these endings feel severe in the moment, the most potent seeds of hope are always planted in their place. Remember that our wounds teach us about our greatest strengths and illuminate our inner ability to heal. And know that when you hear these words and you're in the middle of that crisis, it's kind of like Charlie Brown's teacher, wah, 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 wah. But give it some time. Give it some time. Keep breathing your way through. Again, Winston Churchill, find yourself walking through hell, keep walking. Keep walking. Your dark night of the soul will be met with a beautiful new dawn that is filled with more light than you ever experienced. Remain open to love and joy as you process this ending, and look to the sunlight that awaits. Watching the sun peek over the horizon is the highest task of a bruised heart. And maybe that's what she's doing. She's watching the sun rise as balm to her bruised heart. And then the affirmation is, I am healing every day. I am healing every day. And we are a work in progress with that, right? So something we deem bad happens, something we don't want to have happen happens. It takes time to recover. And sometimes we tend to rush ourselves with that. You know, I should be further along with this, or why am I still upset about this, or get off your own back. Allow the time it takes to do the grieving that needs to be done. If we were better at grieving, we wouldn't have this problem. But we interfere with the grieving process. Each of us does it a little bit differently, and how we do it is fine. It's divinely perfect for us. Do your grieving work the way you need to do your grieving work. Okay? So, that's the card for today. Interesting card, right? Interesting card. But even if right now you're not going through one of those crisis of faith things, think back on some of the ones that you have that are unfinished, because many of us have ones that are unfinished. Rethink it from this perspective. This is an opportunity for healing, hope, and resilience. Healing, hope, and resilience. You might want to do some journaling on this. You might want to breathe your way into, through, and out the other side of this. It is opportunity. It is truly opportunity. And I hope you take this opportunity to avail yourself of the gifts that are inherent in these difficult times, the seeds that are planted in these difficult times. So, have an awesome Friday. If you're in the Appleton area, come on over to the rummage sale and visit us, 1821 West Wisconsin Avenue. We have unpacked multitudinous more boxes of stuff. So I'll be there in the afternoon. My sister and my dad will be there in the morning. Come and visit. See you again tomorrow. Remember, you're capable of far more than you think you are. Oh, and those who watched yesterday's YEMIG, Sunday is when we will do the shadow reading, just so you can pop on and enjoy that. All right, see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.